This episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem, is brought to you by podup.com. Have you ever wanted to have your own podcast? What are you waiting for? Get started at podup.com. They're one of the sponsors of this podcast and would love to someday sponsor yours. Starting is as easy as creating an account at podup.com today. Podup has literally everything that you need to run a full professional show. Podup has over 35 different tools with AI integration to further help you succeed. Create a free starter account or get a paid account for 15% off with code LAUGHWITHME15. That's LaughWithMe15. So go check out podup.com, or if you're wanting a podcast that's done for you, where you pay an agency to do all the website, the social media, the editing work, you might want to check out podallies.com. Pod Allies is an agency run by the folks that literally built the PodUp podcasting software. Get started with them at podallies.com. Get 15% off when you sign up today for PodUp or Pod Allies with code LaughWithMe15. That's LaughWithMe15. We can't wait to create with you and launch your podcast. Jojo, can we start the episode now? You know, Johnny would have the music going. We got the beers going. Damn, JoJo. New producer problems. This isn't, you're not recording. Well, we are back in a big way. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O. Man, it feels good to be back. We're here, live, season 2. Thank you to everybody who listened last week for our NFL season preview. It was an NFL preview like you've never heard before with special guest Eric Larson. An episode so big we had to finish it up during the Friday happy hour. That wasn't what we planned on doing, okay? Just, you know, sometimes it's how things play out. And I'll tell you what, it's never a bad thing to have some beers with friends, especially your best friends. So thanks for listening, and make sure you follow, subscribe. Remember, you can find us almost anywhere. You can stream the show on YouTube, on Spotify, and of course on Apple, where last week we peaked at your 129th favorite comedy podcast in the entire United States. Thank you. Thank you. That's a big deal, guys. You can check out iTunes for that kind of information. If you think, oh, Jerry's making this up, he's just throwing out numbers. No, this isn't math class, okay? I did throw out numbers during math class. I have been known to do that, but this is real shit. You can check it out on iTunes. Thank you for listening. It's a big freaking deal. But man, I'll tell you what, the NFL's back. It feels good to be able to just watch ball all weekend long. I don't even know what to do with myself because the Huskers are back. Like we're like all the way back. We're 2-0 to start the season. We're back in the top 25. Vibes are high. We have a quarterback we believe in. The defense is freaking fantastic. Freaking black shirts are amazing. I just can't even get the words out. That's how incredible they are. And then you get to Sunday, and the Chargers appear to not be the Chargers of old. I think Jim Harbaugh's got them believing that maybe they can finish games and not blow them. I'd love to see Herbert spread the ball out a little more, but that's... I think that's going to come with time because he doesn't really have much for receivers. Jojo, can you get me a water? I can barely breathe right now. I switched producers between season 1 and season 2. Johnny Palermo, heck of a guy. Known him a long time. He did a smash job with season 1, and I was like, you know, let's give the reins to somebody else. And I like to think, you know, I can bring people up. I can train, I can mentor, and I can be there and help people along. And, you know, hey, maybe Johnny can go from producing the 129th favorite comedy podcast in the United States to producing, the 101st. Maybe that's what his next step is in his career goals. And so I'm like, all right, Johnny, you're out. And good luck. I hope you the best. And, let me know if you need anything. But, don't call me. And I get my friend JoJo Dempsey in. And JoJo's a good guy. He means well. I think he's an electrician by trade. So he's used to wires and stuff. And I was like, you can produce the show. I believe in you. It's really not that much time investment for you because I'm going to tell you what to do, right? So it's just be here and go. One of the things, JoJo, I need you to do is make sure I have water. I couldn't even breathe there for a second. I get so choked up when the Huskers are so good, and then you add on that the Chargers are good, and then you add on that the Padres are appearing to be a sure lock into the playoffs and a threat at their first World Series championship, and I don't even know what to do. This is one of the best starts to this time of the year, that September, beginning of football, kind of the end of baseball, that I've had in a long time. And I'm really enjoying the moment. But one team that's not necessarily enjoying the moment, and it's been rough for the last few years. In fact, it's kind of irrelevant because we were just talking about Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers, his former NFL team, the Carolina Panthers. Man, they are going through it. Even today, on 9/11, hashtag never forget, they post this beautiful, a full stadium, so I don't even know when this picture's from. Maybe it's actually from, right after 9/11 or on 9/11, probably. It probably was on 9/11. Another year, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it's at their home stadium. They got the American flag spread out through the whole football field. And it says 9/11, 9/11/01, never forget. And it's a beautiful post. It's a beautiful remembrance, and it's something that we should never forget. The comments are incredible. I just want to put that out there right now. This the people are really going through it as Panther fans. Let me read you some of them. James Martin Jamichael says, this post is still not safe. Every Sunday feels like I'm reliving 9/11. It's damn. Moonich Hells. And, we're talking about social media names, so I'm going to butcher it, but it's not my problem. It's these people, they don't even put their real names. They just put random shit, and that's, so sorry if I can't pronounce it correctly, but he says, sir, a second Saints wide receiver has hit the end zone. Thanks. You don't have to hit that every time, JoJo. Jay Moy says, our tower has been collapsing since 2017. Nathan Two Prings, never forget 9-8. Oh, that's beautiful, because that was, the first game, and they got annihilated. Landon Archer, this team makes me wish I was on those planes. Now, that's terrible. Nobody wishes to have been on those planes. You can't imagine that. I mean, and just think, if you were on that plane, what would you have done? Would you have gone down with the ship? Or would you have fought for your country like some of those on those planes did? I don't know. That guy, he would have been thinking ball. He would have been thinking about how the Panthers have blown every draft pick for the last 5 years. And they've had how many head coaches in that span? And the new ownership's not any better. In fact, you could argue it's far worse and has no idea what they're doing. There's no real direct plan. Anyway, 4K Jello says, no way y'all left the comments on for this one, and that's fact. They really messed that one up. Thy great Mark, I won't forget how bad the Saints did us week 1. All right, so that one is just a play on the never forget. And that's I think that's appropriate. You can make those comments Kyle Satz said our 9/11 was this past Sunday. So that's the opposite. Like, you can't make that comment. Like, I totally think the play on the never forget is appropriate, but all the people that are saying our 9/11s every Sunday, 'cause there's quite a few of that, not appropriate. This one, actually, we'll never be able to find out if this is true. Noah Keeley said Saddam Hussein would be a better defensive coordinator. We don't know if that would ever happen because he is dead. Brian Thornton, 67, said leaving the comments turned on is absolutely diabolical. So maybe they did it for the clicks. Like, maybe this was part of the plan, and they did it to get more clicks, more views, get people talking. Hey, you know what? There's no such thing as bad publicity, right? If people are talking about you, things are good. So, I mean, the Panthers aren't going to put a product on the field that's worth talking about. Why not put out some social media stuff that will? Zane not capping. Rest in peace to all the lives that were lost. See, now this person makes a lot of sense. But please, let's play like we have common sense this Sunday. All right. I mean, it's kind of respectful, and then brings it back to that. Here's a good one. Hunsky 06, never forget 10:47, and that was the score of the game. See that, again, never forget jokes all day long. Give them all day long. In fact, I make never forget jokes all year round. Like, I don't even think you can just make them on 9/11 or around 9/11. Like, I feel hashtag never forget should be shared all year round because everybody knows what you're talking about. H. Huggy. Maybe. Is he trying to say Husky? Our situation is worser than theirs. And he used the wrong there. First of all, your situation is not worse. Jesus. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the people that were in that building that had to make decisions of either burning alive or leaping out of skyscrapers had running through their mind? Well, at least I'm not a Carolina Panthers fan. That's no JoJo. I'm being serious. I'm being serious right now. Damn it. That's just terrible. Like, there's no way that the people on that plane, knowing full well that they were never going to see their families again, that their plane was going down, and this was it. This was their final moments. And they were sitting on that plane going, hey, it could be worse. We could be Carolina Panthers fans. Damn it, JoJo. Tell you what, one of the things I love about this time of year, the weather's changing. You get that good hoodie, sweatshirt weather going. Gosh, I'm a summer guy. I'm going to say I love summer. I love the feeling of the sun on my skin, even though it's just terrible for me. You know, I've got that pale complexion and the red hair, so it's like I burn, baby. Like, I don't tan at all. Wish I could, but I don't tan at all. But I do love summer. You go out, you do stuff, you get in the pool. I don't know, you just feel like you're enjoying things just a little bit more during the summer, right? No matter what you're doing. But you get a hoodie on, the weather's a little cooler, you're maybe not sweating so much, you got football going, and one of my favorite times of year, it's that spooky season, okay? It's when you can throw on scary movies basically every single night. And you got to watch the classics, okay? And when I say the classics, I'm talking about, you know, obviously the Halloweens, and I'm more of like the new ones, you know, like the remakes. And I'm not downgrading the classics at all. Love the classics. Will watch the classics. Sometimes throw on a classic. In fact, I watched just the other night from like 1980 or 83 or 82. It was in the early 80s. It's called Prom Night, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and it's awful. Fell asleep at the end, but here's the thing. You throw on one of those classics, one of those oldies, but a goodie, and it's just, you get the feeling of spooky season, okay? But I really enjoy, like, the remakes, like the updates. Watching Friday the 13th last night. That's fun, but it's not quite the original. But that's okay. You get a little more, like, feeling like it could happen today. Like, I felt like Jason Voorhees would be a thing. And then I got to thinking, how cool would it be if, somebody bought, like, a camp that had a lake, and they made Crystal Lake and Camp Crystal Lake, and you could, like, live, the whole Friday the 13th experience at this camp. And it doesn't have to be like a full-on, like, theme park or anything, but it would be, like a place you would rent to go, like, camping or whatever, and it would just have, like, scary shit. Like, that would be amazing. I know they do, like, haunted houses and obviously, but I'm talking about, like, legit haunted houses where you can go, like, sleep there overnight, or, like, murder houses, and you can go and sleep there, or you can tour it or whatever, or even here in Omaha, we have this museum, downtown that has all kinds of cursed and haunted stuff in it, and you can do tours through that, which is pretty neat. But I'm talking about, like, a fake, like, you make Camp Crystal Lake and, make haunted memories happen. I think that'd be badass. Anyway, I don't know. I love throwing on a scary movie almost every night and fall asleep too. It's kind of calming. Some people gets, like, your heart racing, because they are tense and they have those jump scares and everything. But for me, I don't know what that says about me, but it, like, is oddly calming and incredibly entertaining. And I love just kind of not expecting the jump scares, but kind of anticipating them and where they might be. And if they get me, I full on appreciate it. It's kind of like with comedies anymore. When they make you laugh, when they make you, like, really laugh, like, out loud, you really appreciate that joke, or you're really going to appreciate the movie. That's how I feel about scary movies anymore. If they could really make me jump or really, like, creep me out, get my brain, going, yeah, kudos to you. Kudos to you. So Longlegs. That's like a newer horror movie. Watched that like a week or so ago. It was good. The story itself, I thought was awesome. Like, I loved, like, the idea of it, and there was like 2 or 3 good jump scares early on in the movie. But as far as, like, I don't know, kind of the whole thing from beginning to end, I mean, it was different. It's worth watching. It's not going to be something I'm like, I can't wait to watch Longlegs again. Not doing that, but yeah. That was probably the most recent, like, newish, or new. That is new horror movie I've watched. But it's spooky season, baby. If you got recommendations or anything that you're watching, hit us up on the socials. I'm looking for recommendations. I always ask my brother Kyle. I'll have to see if I can get him on the show. We can talk some spooky season, because he's always like, hey, here's a list. He used to give me a list of scary movies. He's like, you have to watch this, right? And I would not watch them. But then the last few years, I've been really getting into spooky season and watching, like, legit. I'm watching one, like, almost every night. And now he doesn't give me any recommendations. Now I'm shooting him movies and going, hey, what about this? And he's like, I can't believe you're watching that movie before me. Well, you know what? Because I'm in the zone right now. Okay? Get with it. Get with it. Some things are more important, right? Spooky season's one of them. That's one of the things. My kids, they're getting to that age now where it's like, how many more years are they going to be trick-or-treating, if they're trick-or-treating at all? And then what do? I'm kind of looking forward to maybe when one of them doesn't, and then it's like, okay, let's stay home and hand out candy and whatnot, but maybe we can dress up and, like, really freak some people out. as they're trick-or-treating. I mean, I don't want to traumatize any kids, but it would be fun to, like, get them screaming and whatnot. That's what Halloween's all about. We got to make Halloween great again. I say I think that's a hell of a merch idea. We get, like, I don't know what color we'd want to do, but maybe like red because, like blood. We get like a blood red hat and get some letters on it and say, like, make Halloween great again. Make Halloween scary again. How about that? That would make more sense. We can sell these hats. I mean, people you think would buy them. I always see people wearing hats with, like, phrases like that. It's like the, sleep, eat, repeat. It's like the make whatever great again. I don't even know where it originated from, but it's like people keep coming up with things like that, and it just feels like it's the, like the new keep calm, carry on type thing. I don't know. Not a joke, JoJo. Thank you to our sponsor of this week's episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. It's podup.com. If you're looking to start your own podcast and have all the tools available to you, make sure to check them out. You can get a paid account for 15% off using the code LaughWithMe15. That's at podup.com. Thank you for sponsoring this week's episode. Well, JoJo, we did it. It was another brand new episode of Laugh With Me. We're going to be back again this Friday with a new one, the Friday Happy Hour. That's always a good one. Start the weekend off with a couple of brews. We got another Hustler game coming up this weekend. Real excited about that. Your 23rd ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't get any better when your team's ranked. You got the whole, like, playoff picture ahead of you, and you just hope that by the end of the season, we're all going to be saying #never forget. We'll talk to you Friday.